Welcome to the channel, guys. Sharing some adventures of myself on my 790R and my buddy Mark on his 790R. And you're going to see us going through some just great rides from Colorado and around Utah, encountering some hail. This was my first time getting hailed on riding. It was quite the experience with nowhere to go. Here was the first water crossing that I ever took my 790 on my trip home from buying it in Idaho. That's actually Mark crossing it, me looking back, but I crossed the same. Pretty good hole. I just want to say too, before this video goes too long, how awesome these 790 bikes are. I have used mine for all kinds of things and have been nothing but happy with it. So get out and ride your bikes, guys. So here I am going down Black Bear Pass, the last section of steps before you get to the switchbacks. Wasn't too bad, but then you'll see here in just a moment what it did to Mark. It actually sucked him into the hill, maybe right about here, and you know, with a bigger bike just couldn't get out from it. So let's take a look here. He's about to be stuck, and I'm going to be walking back up there. I've turned the volume off because I'm huffing and puffing. It doesn't look too bad, but it was wedged there pretty good. I mean, at a downward angle, and that handlebar couldn't get it without help there. So we got it though. And then nothing like just seeing a new F-150 on Black Bear Pass, no big deal. But we talked to him earlier while he was going down it. Take a look at, I have a video of taking my stock Super Duty down Black Bear if you're interested in that. Here we've got just Mark coming towards me. Look at the epic background of it's kind of clear to the right, but then you can see the storm going to the left. This was coming up Imogene Pass, but it's hard not to just take it in and look at the view looking back down while you're waiting on your buddies.
I don't know if we go left here or go straight. Looks like we might go left. Let me look.
Well, trying to scout ahead for those guys. Pretty fun little route up here, but still didn't go where we needed to go. Still good times though. Mark is still getting used to his bike. He's learning about where you need a little more momentum. Boom. Luckily, he was all right.
You okay?
One thing, guys, is that I realized would have helped tremendously on Imogene when we did it, and I've already done to my bike, is I went with a 1-2 smaller front sprocket. Being loaded down with all of our gear, that would have been considerably better when we went up that.
I'll go in the back. Yeah. That's where we came from, yep.
Wow. Yeah, big shit. That was awesome. It was.
Yeah, we came from right up there above that water. Yeah, go! That looked clean. Think you can do that same one? Let him come and stand by. The biggest thing is if you come in it any slower than that, you may end up stalling out about. You okay?
Dang, this front tire just won't stop.
Here, let's get it upright. All right, just sit there for a minute. Take a break.
This is the way to come if you can get up on this side.
Quite the challenge on the KLR. It was interesting. Also, I commonly ask these guys if they want help. You'll see what they tell me.
Right there if you let me.
No, I can get it.
You got it?
It's not hard, I just came at a weird angle.
So I might have told Chris and Mark that I thought Imogene Pass was pretty easy. I think they had enough of that.
Got out of it.
So this was a pretty steep downhill spot. Also some guys having trouble on some smaller bikes getting up it. I'm not sure what the trouble was on the smaller bikes, but I showed them how you could go down it on a 790. Also, that was after I rode Chris's KLR down this, which I started at the top of it, and that was the first time I've ridden a KLR. It makes me appreciate my 790 that much more.
I don't want you to do it if you're not comfortable. You got it in gear, so it's stopped.
It's in gear, so it's stopped. So,
Here, I'm gonna grab your front brake when you step off.
okay, when you jump off in the ride, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And now,
Just help me get on it.
I'll hold on the front brake.
You got front brake?
You got the front brake.
Okay. I got rear brake, front brake.
Front brake.
Okay.
Rear brake.
Let me get these guys out of the way. Hold on, stay there. How do I start it?
Hold on, the button on the right side.
Bottom right.
Yeah, that button.
So I mentioned this is the first time I've ever ridden a KLR 650. Might as well do your first time going down a steep rocky hill section. Completely different approach than riding my 790 down with considerably more suspension, better brakes. I give Chris major props after riding it down that for taking it the whole trip through Imogene with us. Awesome adventure he had with his bike. We met him when we were out there. I was just going back up there and kind of talking to Mark about it. I think something a lot of guys don't realize is if you're pretty good on a dirt bike, that makes a big difference when it comes to riding a bigger adventure bike. Now, if you came from the street bike world and now you got on your bigger adventure bike and you try to do some of this stuff, it might be a little bit more challenging for you.
This way here.
So I wasn't sure what was coming next whenever Here in a minute, you're going to see the guy standing to my left, and he had a flag. Not sure what that was about, but we'll find out here in just a little bit further down the trail. So the view off to the right side, just phenomenal. But also remind you how much you need to pay attention so you don't run off the road to the right side. Here is next where the flag guy, which was actually a stop sign, I think they were stopping people for when this car wasn't covered. It was probably going back and forth and splashing that hole for a video, it turns out. I was trying to see what it was. They wouldn't really tell us much. I believe it was some sort of Subaru though. Not for sure, but they had drones, all kinds of cameras, and I think they were using that stream crossing there for a video. I love when you find and see all the sheep. It's pretty cool. It's been a while since I'd seen this many. Scenery kind of jumps around a little bit, different spots, because this was multiple trips, different days. But that's Mesa Verde. We were kind of disappointed you couldn't go down with COVID restrictions. But been one of those awesome trips where we went out there. You can see there's the Black Bear Pass sign. Just a collection of several of my favorite spots and trails. Great times. In this video though, you've seen Black Bear Pass, Imogene Pass, California Pass. Sections will be of Ophir Pass, sections of the Tat between Ouray and Moab, sections of the La Salle Mountains crossing there outside of Utah. And here is a section that I tried to offer Mark to help him going down Black Bear, and he did not want my help, and I did the clumsy cameraman thing and missed it. Luckily he was all right. He didn't go off to the side. We didn't have to get the bike from any major dilemma. Got down into Telluride and went and had some pizza. Went back for some camping on Imogene. That was our spot, and it was just it was phenomenal. What a trip. So I'll admit, some of this trip, specifically right here, I was not on my 790 yet. I didn't have it yet. Mark had his. I think this was the first trip we got to meet up and I got to ride his, and it only sealed the deal that much quicker for me going to get mine. My other two bikes that I previously had were great bikes, but for doing this type of adventure riding, I will take the 790 all day. Probably the best thing about it is the fact that you can do all the off-road trails, but then you can get out on the highway, and it does the highway so much better than I had a KTM 500 and a Husky 500 dual sport bikes, which were excellent bikes, but they still didn't match the 790. I've actually ridden my 790 from Missouri back to Colorado. I've ridden down towards New Mexico to pick up a truck and hauled the bike back. Whenever I bought the bike, here we'll see if Mark makes it. He's going to give me a hard time for giving him a hard time there. I think he was maybe cussing me when I asked him. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think he was cussing me, but I guess I could have been nice and went over there and helped him, but he had it under control. And then I showed him nicely how to correctly cross it after he got the bike back up. But I had also, when I bought my bike, flew to Mark's in Salt Lake. He picked me up at the airport, and then we drove up to Idaho Falls, and I picked the bike up, and then we bagged it up and did a big ride on my way back. But been a great bike, no complaints. This was a cold morning, getting ready to go up Ophir. Started snowing, raining, sleeting. Was still wet from the night before. I've never thought I might want heated grips, but I don't know. After this ride and another ride where I rode the ride down to New Mexico on the highway to pick up my truck. In that ride, I rode for, it was stupid, but it was about an 8-hour ride, and 4 of it was in temperatures below 32 degrees, snowing, sleeting, until I got to New Mexico, and I think it warmed up to 45 or 50, but it was so cold, and I think since then I might be considering some heated grips as an option. That'd be awful nice. Here's the scenery though, just going up to Ophir, and I think this is right after it opened this year, 2020, once they got the snow cleared to where you could get through, because you're going to see some really tall snow ledges as we get up here and go by them. But phenomenal trail, a little bit difficult with all the wet, slick rocks on the top side. So you'll take a look here. So it was really slick here, and it's also at quite an angle going downhill. It's about time for Mark to let his bike take a little rest again. Luckily, he's going to be okay. So, it just wanted to take a little rest again. This time, I think he was cussing me when I asked him if he wanted to ride my smaller bike down. Also, I'm not sure why I didn't get off and help him get it up. I don't know if I didn't think my bike would stand on the kickstand there. I'm not sure, but I guess I just felt that I should watch him pick it up. But he did such a good job. So, good job, Mark. Good work. It almost got him again, too. He's got to be careful, too, because he's healing from a broken bone previously. I think it was his right foot too, so having to be careful. But hey guys, thanks for watching so much. Make sure to check out some of my other videos, subscribe, hit that like button, the bell for future notifications, and thanks for watching.